experience. Yogi Berra said, "Hey, it's tough to make predictions, especially about the future." So I took down some notes from The Black Swan by Nassim Nicholas Taleb, and I'm sharing them with you now. I hope you listen and receive something worthwhile from this. Remember, these are just my notes, not necessarily a report about what the book is about, and might not even be the words or the thoughts of the author. Rather, these are notes that I gleaned or thought about while reading. These notes are what caught my interest because the ideas expanded my knowledge or made me think, reflect, or ponder in some way. This video might inspire you to read what I did. It's my hope that you'll search from the very best books and gain information and ideas to help you to become a better person. The more you read, the better you'll think. And the better you think, the more you'll be able to face life's challenges successfully. When the shizzy finally hits the fizzy, it will not be evenly distributed. This is not an economics book, but a book on incompleteness and high impact uncertainty. This book does not so much say shiz happens as much as it's saying this is why shiz happens. The banking system is the mother of all accidents waiting to happen. But when things go south, the very journalists, economists, and political experts who do not see the crisis coming provide an ample ex post analysis of its inevitability. We humans have the largest cortex, followed by bank executives, dolphins, and apes. Black swans are unexpected, high impact, low frequency events. They tend to leave people in dark suits and standardized minds scratching their heads and writing off the event as a fluke. It is because institutions try to dull people and then train them to even be duller. Alas, with tools and fools, anything can be easy to find, and institutions only want to broadcast good news. Trouble is, 1,000 days do not prove you right, but one day can prove you wrong. Our predictions for the ordinary may be good, but not so for the irregular black swans. When you take the descriptive math of statistics and try to turn it into a predictive math based on the assumption of what was will be, you are setting yourself up for a black swan by reasoning correctly from erroneous premises. Beware of intellectual fraudsters trying to sell products. We all have a natural tendency to look for things that confirm our vision of how things should be. Something has always worked in the past until, well, it unexpectedly no longer does. And what people learn in the past turns out to be sadistically misleading. Journalists and public intellectuals are industrial producers of distortion who make the world look what it isn't. Mergers aren't good for companies since it makes them much more vulnerable to outside contingencies or black swans. Being larger gives them the illusion of being more stable, but it makes them more fragile. Globalization creates an interlocking fragility that threatens global collapse. Its result is fewer but more severe crises. Timelines of civilizations do not crawl, they make jumps. Yet we and historians like to believe in predictable, small, incremental progression. This idea is sticky. And once we get an idea into our heads, we do not change our minds about them. So those who delay developing their theories are usually better off. Serendipity was coined in a letter by Hugh Walpole, who derived it from the fairy tale The Three Princes of Serendip. The problem does not lie in the nature of the events, but in the way we perceive them. Like the princess, princes of Serendip, we don't discover what we set out for, and important discoveries are not readily realized. It's only in hindsight that we see. The memory is a self serving, dynamic revision machine that tells us what we want to hear. Or, as Yogi Berra said, the past ain't what it used to be. We worry too late, mistaking the naive observations of the past as something that predicts the future, which is the cause of our inability to understand the black swan. The way to avoid the ills of the narrative fallacy is to favor experimentation over storytelling, experience over history, and clinical knowledge over theories. We see what is done, but we don't see the alternative. It's much easier to sell, look what I did for you, rather than to sell, look what I avoided for you. Humans would not easily lose their brain function with age if they followed a regime of exercise, fasting, long, slow walks, avoiding sugar, bread, white rice, stock market investments, refraining from taking economic classes or reading the New York Times. I'm irritated by those that attack the bishop but somehow fall for the security analyst. They're skeptical about religion, but not economists, social scientists, and statisticians. Using confirmation bias, they count the deaths from the Inquisition, but ignore deaths caused by nationalism, social science, and political theory under Stalin and Pol Pot. A black swan for a turkey is not a black swan for a butcher. A black swan does not have to be a black swan for you. Primo, stay out of debt. Debt implies a strong statement about the future with a high reliance on forecast. Debt is dangerous when you have overconfidence about the future and are black swan blind. Live the Roman proverb, happy is he who owes nothing. Segundo, Marcus Aurelius stated that men have the need to turn obstacles into fuel, just as fire does. We need feast and famine to grow. When people are deprived of stressors, human genetics are changed, and people weaken and then die when they finally encounter hardship. Learn to live with the ups and downs of life. It will teach you and make you stronger. I wish you the best in your happy readings. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, au revoir.